I've had a no-show this afternoon, so and that happens in the ways of the world, you know. And we have such a waiting list. Sometimes people don't. They get tired or they decide something else. But so let's go over some of these questions that you have. So this is going to be question and answer number. I don't know what, but let's go over some of these things. And we did the sorry Cintron thing. Thank you, my friend. Sorry about all that. And then I did one on earlier on. I just want people to understand where everything is. Most of you already know this, but some people that visit the website don't understand kind of where traditional, and I don't want to use the word medicine, but traditional healing takes place. And around the world, you know, still around the world, traditionally, botanical medicine is the main focus. But we want to use herbs differently. We want to take herbs and we want to make them to clean the body out more aggressively, but we also want to use them to strengthen the body. So one of your questions has been on adaptogens, and you betcha I love adaptogens. Sometimes adaptogens are hot, like ginseng. So if you have prostatitis or you have a lot of acidosis, I don't recommend adaptogens right off because it just adds to the heat factor of the body. But I love adaptogenic herbs, very powerful on the tissue, and I really think plays a vital role in genetic remembering and the strengthening of cells. I love every herb from almost every walk of life, except maybe Peruvian bark, which is high quinine, and some of the more toxic things. I got into Cereus, night blooming Cereus, and it's like that's a little neurotoxic too. So there's some things I've been through that I really don't get into anymore. But adaptogenic herbs, you betcha. I mean, it strengthens the body up. I like cleansing the body first. Because of all the excessive heat and the acidosis of the body and all the damage and stuff, and then build it up. Because one I was just reading here was asking me about Cooley syndrome or blood disorders, and I'll find that and get to that. But when you're having hemoglobin and you're having daily or every week a new blood transfusion and you're not carrying oxygen and things, here's the thing. You get into your liver, you get into your spleen, you get into your adrenals, and you get into your bone marrow. Now, the question is, what herbs are good for the bone marrow? So, some probably not going to like this, but I do use antler a lot, especially in my Ultimate Immune, because antler, you don't hurt any deer or elk. It's part of the velvet antler, the growth period, but a major adaptogenic substance in the way of looking at it. Very powerful cellular regenerator. And I think good for bone marrow. I think the ginsengs are good for bone marrow as well. But I've got some good Chinese herbs for the bone marrow. But I would get into the bone marrow. I would detoxify my body for sure. Get that blood alkaline, get enzymes in that blood, as you know, because that'll start separating the blood cells so their carrying capacity will increase. Get the adrenals up because the relationship between iron and hemoglobin there is known. Clean the liver and the spleen. And as you go down this road, you'll correct this. I've had people that had no bone marrow left at all from taking pharmaceuticals, and they were on daily transfusions of blood, and then every 3 days platelets. You didn't mention platelets, but anyway, you've got to get into your bone marrow. Well, you're into it's just going to take time to get into that bone marrow and rebuild that bone marrow and get into the adrenals. And same type of thing though. You want to realize that it's still the lymph system, it's still the acids that started in your family chewing yourself down the road here. So really I would hit down that way. Now I've got a lot to cover here. I need your guys' help though. Now we're all detectives on the force of health. So I'm going to have you guys help me here. Now look, here's a lady, let's see, she's from India. Indian food. I love Indian food. But a lot of wheat and a lot of grains. And I'll say this, I have a lot of Indian friends and a lot of GI tract problems, but I will say this. No matter what part of the world we're in and what we've done to survive in these lands, we need to bring the consciousness of fruits and berries and melons and salads and vegetables to the forefront now, no matter where we live, and bring that forth. We might have to grow some very large greenhouses, but we've got to do that, and pick from the sea, and we've got to do that. So you wrote that you had Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, and you have vitiligo. Well, I suggest that your thyroid problem, in just these two things that you're fighting here, sweetheart, is pituitary. Pituitary is the skin pigmentation, and also it controls the thyroid. So before I would separate those two, I would definitely get in a glandular for the pituitary gland. Work on my bowels, because I can tell you, most of the time, and I've mentioned this on other videos, that most of the time when we see sinus and head and pituitary, we see colon. And the wheat products and the grains, they destroy the bowels. There's no question about it. And so you'll want to work on your GI tract, and you'll want to work on your pituitary gland. Probably take a pituitary glandular. That'll help quicker. That should turn on your thyroid. If you have a thyroid that's weak specifically, then you can get into the thyroid tincture of herbs, or you can get into a thyroid glandular. But the pituitary is going to control the thyroid. And both of those, my suggestion, are probably linked with you. Probably pretty easy call that way. So it's just, we're waking up the cultures, where they had through the generations. But this is why genetics are so in our face now in the younger people. And I believe you said you were a younger woman, right? And so, or male, but it's hitting us. It's hitting us hard now. And it's hitting us so hard we have to realize that, oops, our parents didn't know. They didn't know. Grains were always considered a staple. I don't know, where that really came from, because really they're not. I mean, we had farms. All my aunts and uncles had farms, and truly grains were considered more of a fattening agent for cattle and hogs. We never really talked about it in ways of being a staple food. I think more people in the Midwest particularly got meat to be more of a staple, but really your fruits and berries and melons are the staple for Homo sapiens, and then maybe a salad on the side for whatever. But go into that body and clean it out. Hit your GI tract there, and get yourself cleaned up there, get the thyroid up there, and, excuse me, and get away from these grains. It would be very important for your health to do that. So, Now, let's see here. Yeah, this is the one on the Cooley's anemia and stuff. Yeah. Go for that bone marrow too, my friend. Really important. Now, here's a good question here. This gentleman, this is Tim from the Netherlands. Hey, Tim from the Netherlands. You have a family history of balding, and you have a good set of hair. You've been on Raw. Your hair's getting thick and stuff. If you'll see on some of these responses here, people are already getting their hair growth back. I've had people that have been bald since they were in their 20s, and they were 60 and 50 when I met them, and I've never failed to grow hair on their head again. I think when you look in genetics and balding, you're really looking in genetics of the lymph system, the inability to move lymph. And the quicker you see that, again, the colon's tied to that, the kidneys are tied to that. I think when you see that and you go after those areas and you use that upper circulation like you're doing, it might take you a while. Sometimes people grow hair quicker than others, but I'll tell you, I've never seen one not be able to grow hair on their head again. And matter of fact, I had a lady that she owned a big herb company. And she called me and she said she had T-cell lymphoma. And she was in trouble. So she owned an herb company, and that herb company made our herbal formulas. And I said, listen, honey, you got to get raw. And you got our herbal formulas, and then you got yours. So I really kind of excited her, and she really went into this, tore into this. They had the money so they could order from Diamond Organics out of California, and she really tore into this. Now, she had salt and pepper hair, and she told me one time, she said, my hair went from, gray and black to black, and then to blonde. She said, I had blonde hair as a child. So does it make you wonder? Do we really know some of the fascinating things that could take place in the human body? Fascinating stuff. We've accepted what we see, and I look at these lab normals and everything else, it's like, we don't know. So, pretty far out. I'll say this, what else you got to do on the planet right now? Take off after that body of yours and really hit it hard. Here's a big thing here, though, with this is that you're thin, cold hands and feet, because you get the thyroid there. You're thin, so are we dealing in malabsorption or pancreatic? Remember, you guys, when someone's thin, what, are they not absorbing their foods properly? Or do they have pancreatic? They're not digesting their foods. You can eliminate digesting by, do you see particles of food in your stools? Do you see particles of undigested food in your stools? If you do, except for corn, nobody digests corn, but particles of undigested food in your stool would be a direct indication more pancreatic, depending on the food. Pancreas digests your carbohydrates, fruits and veggies. You don't want to see fruit skins in your stool. Not good. And definitely vegetable either, but we would tend to see more vegetable than fruit skins because vegetables are much harder to digest. If you're seeing fats or fatty stuff, then your liver gallbladder's in trouble. Of course, that sort of thing. So, the most frequent problem within this is malabsorption. Now, that's going to go back to interstitial lymphatic constipation. You like that word? I think we should put it in the Webster's Dictionary. All right, interstitial lymphatic constipation. But how does that tie into balding? Because if you're having problems here, you're probably having problems in your whole family line of lymphatics. Isn't it cool that we can pull this back to the same thing every time? Because the only body is what? A bunch of cells and two fluids. Keeping it general and keeping it simple. That's what I like. And when you can do that, you empower yourself, you can focus yourself. So I suggest your genetics is in your adrenals and your kidneys. You're not moving your lymph system. Now your guys' lymph system is backed up in the wall of the GI tract. You guys are getting malabsorbed from that. Of course, from that, the lymph system is taking off the hair and everything else. So work on all of that and work yourself out of that. Might take a little bit of a time, but that's okay. You can pop up that thyroid. But if your family is balding, you might have to suspect the pituitary here because that's up here. And when you go balding, what's taking off hair? When you see no hair, think chemotherapy. That's an easy way to relate to that. And of course, when you think of chemotherapy, think of acid. Hot acid. As nurses say, Drano acid. So that sort of acid, cellular acids are around 3 pH. Chemo's around 1.5 to 2. If they're using anything hotter nowadays, they used to use, I think, hotter, but you might ask your oncologist if you have one. I hope you don't. But if you have one, ask them the pH of any chemo you might be considering taking. A lot of cancer in the family, sugar problems. There you go. High blood pressure. What's sugar problems? Adrenal glands for the most part. All right. What's high blood pressure problems? Kidneys. Right there. Kidneys and adrenals. Guys, what problem are they having trouble with? That's right. The lymphatic system. Here's interstitial lymphatic constipation in the gut wall. He's thin. He's got suppressed thyroid. And he's got a family history of balding. Not him yet, but family history. So take off with that guy. This is a good one. Do you know why my nose keeps becoming red, inflamed, and swelling and heating? How to cure this? How to cure this? Well, what would make things swell? What would make things turn red? How many sides to chemistry is there? That is correct. There's only 2 sides to chemistry. Now, which side makes things swell? Which side makes things turn red? Acids, generally speaking. So this would show me that you're not moving your lymph system. Your lymph nodes are probably swollen under the jaw. You're not moving your lymph system. If you don't have any tonsils, that's even more of an issue. So you've got to move your lymph system, going back to the adrenals and kidneys, and get your lymph system moving out. You clean up the bowel too. Don't take any chances. Clean up the colon, clean up the GI tract, get your kidneys filtering, get the adrenals to turn on those kidneys, and this swelling going to come out. And you want to make sure you do that, because of basal cells and everything else. They just love to cut off people's noses. It's like, don't go there. If you're having this for any extended period of time, get those kidneys, get those the lymphs going, get the bowels cleaned up, and get this redness and this swelling out of here. Tied to your sinuses, tied to your lymph drainage there. Do you have a deviated septum or anything that might be causing somewhat of a challenge in draining the lymph? But it doesn't matter if you do. You just keep moving down that line, my friend. Very important, because you could be converting cells to basal or squamous in the future. And not worth going down that road. Black salve would be not considered there. Now, this one, I kind of like this one. Who is this? Sustainably Green. Let's see here. Yeah, try to stay in the now. Yep, we got to do that. Let me see here. Yeah, you're the one who asked me about adaptogens, melatonin and the like. Melatonin, not an adaptogen. That's a hormone from the pineal gland. I would be, again, as I said, you don't want to take hormones, steroids, neurotransmitters. It's not worth what you have to then do when the glands stop performing for you. It's not worth it, because you have to do the same thing that you'd have to do now. So why wait? Because it just makes things worse. I tend to be a little lazy now and then, but yeah, get into this and stop taking melatonin. Then take a glandular for the pineal gland, or just eat a lot of berries, and move your lymph, because there's a reason that pineal gland is suppressed and you're not resting, and that wouldn't be a blood problem, but you can always take upper circulation to throw blood up into the head. And then move your lymph. You can push blood and clean lymph. You can't lose, because those are the 2 things that ultimately contact every cell, including pineal gland tissue and the like. So go after those things. And yes, it will suppress your gland's ability to make it if you keep taking it. So you go that way and move your lymph, and it'll just relax you down. Excuse me. There, thanks. Now, this was important. Yes, this is from Belgium, and I think Chris put our number of the clinic or the pharmacy herb store on there to help you call. That's where you would never want to put any of your personal information online here, ever, because, it just seems like a lot of rip-off people out there. But yeah, you don't, this YouTube is a totally educational site there, my friend. But you can contact the clinic or get on the website, robertmorrisnd.com. You work out it that way. Now, in August '07, this guy had an open bone fracture of his femur, didn't say which one, after tons of antibiotics. Jesus, these guys just don't get it. I know you didn't give me a very good impression of your medical community in Belgium. You really didn't. And sorry about that, guys. And a lot of other medications. He had a frame on his leg for 3 years and couldn't bend his leg. Now the frame is off for 4 months and there's no progress in bending his leg. So the professor thinks some muscle has grown against the femur, and they want to open my leg from my knee to my hip and cut everything loose, even where the quadriceps are naturally attached around my knee. Well, that's just what I'm talking about. You know, these are the problems, and these are the problems when allopathic physicians are put out front instead of in the back. And no offense in that way, not meaning worse, but in the back simply means when you're needed, like setting the fracture in the first place and setting this gentleman up. But the healing part must be done by us and the body, because we're the ones that know. You gave him a lot of antibiotics, which actually stopped the healing process. And of course, with the leg not being moved, he wasn't moving lymph well. And of course, this in a sedentary position can also be somewhat of a factor. But your lymph system has made it stiff and hard there. It's possible that your muscle has, but you know what? What you do is you get your kidneys and your lymph system moving. Now, we've got a bones formula. I'd get it in the capsule formula that accelerates healing. I'd also consider, if you're hard to heal, that you have a parathyroid weakness and you're not utilizing calcium well. So I look at my fingernails, I look at all the questions we have under the parathyroid, from varicose vein, spider vein type of things. You know, how strong are you in tissue and stuff like that. But if you're healing slowly, boy, I would pop that parathyroid gland up, suck down the kelp tablets, really get my lymph moving, get on raw, and start cleaning that out. And that'll re-heal itself, believe it or not. Whatever hasn't healed will re-heal itself, and you'll pull that lymph system. Your kidneys are not filtering well, I can tell you that right off, and you probably have weak adrenals, which is low steroids, to help you. Now, so we need to get your kidneys moving, don't we? We need to get your kidneys filtering. That's the adrenal glands. So we need to get your adrenal glands going anyway. That'll give you more steroids. That'll also give you more anti-inflammatory, if you want, and acid power. Then more neurotransmitters will turn on the nervous system in that leg more. You'll pull that acid stagnation out of there. That causes cells to grow a little wacky. If you do have muscle going to the bone, it should break loose on its own and heal itself. The body loves to heal itself. So what they're asking here is, I mean, this is the kind of stuff, but this is not as bad as half the stuff we see. So, yeah, they've made a lot of mistakes here. You've had a lot of medications. You've had 15 surgeries. Oh, my God. You're not healing, my friend. And healing is a base chemistry experience. It also requires parathormone, parathyroid hormone, good calcium utilization there. So I'd really be doing a lot of fruits, berries, and melons, and I would be doing a lot of salads here. I'd be pumping some green drinks, pump parsley, dandelion, spinach. I would take kelp like crazy, 2 or 3 capsules 3 times a day. Really go after those kidneys and lymphatics, turn on those adrenals, and you'll heal up real good. Real good. I do that before I have that rip that leg open, because then you're going to create more scar tissue. You're going to create more adhesions. I mean, they're not addressing causative factors of healing. And that's where the difference lies in naturopathic, or should be, naturopathy, and allopathic. Allopathic is great for surgeries and things when you need them, but then the health care must be done by those involved in health. Allopathic is not about health. Never has been, never will be. That's not their focus. Can't blame them, it's not their focus. I can only blame an allopathic physician when he thinks he is. But he's not. He's involved in emergency medicine. And I just did a video linking that very thing to that reason. And you're a good example here of why the allopathic community must just wake up and realize where its specialty lies. And that leave us alone and let us come in and heal you up fine. You'd have been healed a long time ago. You've been with me a long time ago. This is another good one, guys. He says, this person, Yoga by Kate. Oh, I like that already. I like that already, sweetheart. All right. And I think this is important. This project we're doing, kind of a Disney type thing, except big. They have they want to focus on the kids, and I say, wait, no. If you want me ahead of this, we're focusing on everybody, not just children. We've got the elderly, and this is a good example, guys, because I'm in Florida here where seniors come down and they want to retire, and they're sick as dogs, and then they're on medications, and their life just goes spiraling downhill. Of course, they're never told they're coming from northern climates into a subtropical area, and they've got to change their diet. You got to change your diet no matter where you live. So this elderly lady, I don't know how old you are, sweetheart, but if you're doing yoga and you're elderly, you're my kind of woman. Elderly parents, for those with, this is your parents. Oh, okay. I'd read, I'd know more, wouldn't I? I hate reading. With elderly parents who are showing early signs of Alzheimer's. Okay, berries, melons, and grapes. You know, when you're older, in particular, your diet must be simpler because of the digestion, because of the teeth. You want to make it simple. But, how about the brain and nerve? What about the brain and nerve? What about the endocrine glands? If someone's older, don't you think we want to have more food for brain and nerve power? We want more food to keep the glands up and supported? Don't we want to keep their lymph systems moving so they don't get rigid and stiff and full of pain? Fruits, berries, and melons every time. Maybe a salad at the end of the day, or get some green drinks if you don't have the teeth. Alzheimer's, very important with Alzheimer's, guys. You want to get up in that brain. You want to move lymph. You want to use upper circulation, sweetheart, on your parents, and brain and nerve, especially my new brain and nerve. Really turn on everything, get blood flow, but as equally as important as moving blood up in these tissues, you want to move lymph. I'd also address the adrenal glands, of course, for neurotransmitters. That'll help the brain too. And you really just kind of turn on their bodies again. Keep digestion simple in them. But you want to power up that nervous system, power up that brain. Well, proteins don't do it. Starches don't do it. Fats don't do it. But fruits, berries, and melons do. So, and they probably benefit with a little kelp. Sorry about that. Now, I wouldn't do a series of monthly liver flushes. Now, I wouldn't stress them that much. If you could get them to do one, I'd be amazed. But if I would clean them out, use a liver formula, get a lot of the raw foods and start cleaning them out. And then if you wanted to do one here in a month or two, yeah, go ahead. But if they're elderly, I'd spend some time detoxing their body and let the stones dissolve a little bit before I would do an aggressive liver flush on them. I think that'd be a good idea. But upper circ, brain and nerve, key to this. And moving that lymph. You're on the right road here. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for the comment, my brother. A couple questions. Sun-dried olives, avocado. I love all that stuff. I think Brazil nuts, all that stuff's good if you're not detoxifying in terms of the Brazil nuts. But if you're not detoxifying in flax, cool stuff. Good. I don't care. Olives are supposed to be accepted. Yeah, dried olives. I love all that stuff. Date paste. Bejeweled date paste. Oh, my God. Yeah, you know what? You think smoking in the back room is good? Try a bejeweled date paste. Woo! Man, that is incredible. Yeah, good stuff. Copenhagen. Yeah, man. Sure. Keep it going. Good. Thanks for the response there. You guys are driving me crazy with these, but I love them. Alopecia, same thing I just did, with the hair. Yeah. Really, the only true way to regrow your hair is get in that head of yours and move that lymph upstairs and get blood flow, and you'll see new hair growth popping all over the place. I just never see anybody not be able to do it. I just never have. So if you can't grow new hair, you're not doing something right, because it will happen. It's what the body does. So, good stuff. Miss Magnolia Love. Ooh, what a name. Ooh, I love that. These detox kits, honey. You know what? I just had Jennifer in here, and we're going over our new, because we're moving this into a health club. These detox kits, honey. You know what? I just had Jennifer in here, and we're going over our new, because we're moving this into a health club. It's more protective for you and I. I'm in the private sector anyway, and this country does a lot of manipulation with the law, public versus private, and all kinds of crap, U.S. citizen versus state citizen. There's a lot of stuff they pull over on people in this country. It would shock the average American to know some truths that I could give you over this that would blow your mind. How they're creating bastard children out of your birth certificates. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that's been going on here to gain control of your rights and pull you into the federal privilege system. So it's just a sad thing, you know. But we're redoing our protocols because I feel the core issue with every single person, and every year I've done this, and the more people I see, it becomes obvious. And I think most of you agree now. Isn't it becoming obvious? I just walked out over to the pharmacy, and here's a lady. Her husband is getting off of dialysis now. She's had him on the herbs, and now she needs it. Her kidneys are failing. His kidneys are. Everybody's kidneys are failing, and now you see it everywhere. Kidneys, 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 kidneys. So now you're singing, and you're tied to the swelling in the lymph system, and you're tied to the toxicity of the body and the acidosis of the body. It's just you guys ahead of your time. And that's the point. You guys are going to make the best healers in the world. You're ahead of your time. You're open. You're learning. You're growing. I love it. You guys should pat yourselves on the back. You're really doing good. I really love that. So what I was trying to say is that 2 kidneys, 2 lymphatics, some type of endocrine gland or adrenal gland formula, a stomach and bowel formula, those are essential. Every kit, make sure you tell them that's what you want. Or tell Jennifer you want the new protocols. And she knows what they are. She's typing them up. You want those protocols because that's you want to constantly move on your lymph system. I think 1 lymphatic formula should be the capsules to get into the bowels, especially the gentleman that's thin. We've got to get through that bowel wall. And I just had a conversation with this sweet Tina. You know, you're a sweetheart, honey. She has Hodgkin's lymphoma. She did chemo. So she's the sweetest girl I've ever talked to. I hear her voice. It's like an angel from the sky, you know. And she's taking this on. She's into it. She's grabbing. She's doing it. And it's like, wow, wow, wow. Numbness in her body here. She's fighting this, fighting that. That's what it takes. She's going to be successful. And I tell you, it's just incredible. And if it's not, you're gonna be singing to the choir, sweetheart. I mean, the real choir. I mean, you're just an angel. And this is what it takes: is you take life on, and you wear that robe, because you can't put your life's health in other people's hands. You must knowledge up. That's why I'm doing these videos. There's just too much destruction of tissue out there with these therapies and the insane ideas, and people that know anything about the lymph system tell them to eat cheese products, and I don't know, it's just got insanity out there. It's got cottage cheese for cancer. Woo! It's insanity. But go get that original, and then you can go from there. You know, get into the liver, the spleen, or anywhere else you want to go with that. She's had her tonsils removed at 20. At 20 years old, they removed tonsils. They still don't know what tonsils are. My God, you don't know what your tonsils are? Medical community, my God. Sorry, sweetheart. Maybe you'll grow your second set. Listen, they'll grow back. Especially if you're a raw foodist, you get your tonsils back. This time you're going to correct why you have them out. Remember, always work on your colon, sweetheart. Work on your kidneys. Work on your lymph system here. Really be good. You won't overdo the tinctures if you want to add, but make sure. I just generally focus on the straight and narrow. If you want to add, it's affordable to you. By all, play and have fun in the field of botanicals, because they're nothing but fun. You're going to find that out. You're already getting comments where you love them. They're strong, but don't you want it, when you spend your money, don't you want it the best? I do. I don't want to buy something that's inferior. When I spend my money and it's my health, I want something that'll power up. I don't care if it tastes bad, because I can't help that. I don't even think about the taste, you know. Go for it. You know, I had the president of the Outlaws of Ohio one time. He was a bad dude. And I got him to putting the shotgun up against his wife's head, but I totally rebuilt him. And he was living in the now. I got him meditating, he out-of-body experiences. And this is the president of the Outlaws of Ohio. This guy was one bad dude at one time. But this guy would just drink my formulas. I mean, I don't even drink them. So this guy was good. Strong guy. So yeah, have fun with that. But keep that focus. 2 kidneys, 2 lymphatics, stomach and bowel, endocrine gland. Now you're really down the line. The endocrine glands, they control everything. The lymphs kills everything. And of course your kidneys and adrenals control all of that. Your GI tract, head down that way. And good questions, you guys. Let me see here. This is a lady that has a 2.5-year-old daughter she stopped her off of 2% milk. Unsure what to give her now. Well, she's already time to be weaned, so you start giving her the fruits, berries, and melons. Real important because you need to start maturing her brain and nervous system. She's a Homo sapien. She needs lots of fruits, berries, and melons. If you want to add coconut milk, highly recommend that. Coconut and coconut milk. I was at a big mango festival yesterday down here in Pine Island in Fort Myers. I mean, I got mangoes this big. And there was a jackfruit this big, $60. I couldn't afford it, but I would have loved to have had that baby. But I bought a lot of things. They were out of lychee. It was out of season, but I got the Kinder lychee. So I got a bunch of good stuff. But the mangoes, I got there too late, and all the ripe ones were gone, so I'm going to have to go back. But, I mean, they had, like, Valencia mangoes this big. It's like, oh, it was so good. So, but this is what your child needs. Fresh fruits, fresh berries. Most of the chemistry in nature are in those foods. You want to have some fatty acids for growth of brain, of course, and muscle, and as the lymph fluids. You need that. So you definitely need the coconut meat, excellent. A little almond milk, okay. You can do chia, hemp seed, you could fix yourself a nice, but she's already 2.5, so she's ready for food. So move her on down the line there. Forget the milky idea. That needs to go, and clean the lymph system from when you had her on the milk. So there's a little detoxification probably need to go on. And even when you add the fruits, berries, and melons, she probably will start detoxifying a little bit. So don't get surprised if she runs some high fevers, a lot of mucus coming out of her. What you get out of her now will make your daughter excel in the future and become one smart cookie. You get her on this kind of diet. Matter of fact, this biker's son, he used to try to break animals' legs and stuff because he always saw his dad violent against his mother. And so we detoxified him at 2. At 2 years old, he's wavering under the tree in the shade, throwing up black, skunky, stinking matter oozing out of his bowels. At 2 years old, he got black, putrid matter out. That 2-week of detox on him, freshman, high school, taking college courses, his teachers couldn't stand him because he could see outside of the box. Most professors teach the box. He could see outside of the box and ask them questions that would confuse them. His own teachers. The brilliance. These are high souls. These young children, they're just young bodies, but the souls coming to this planet are of a high order. And we're giving them these horrible little bodies to come into. So we got high souls, we need good bodies because these souls are going to change this planet. This is where all these, the God awareness is going to be pouring in here. We need to help the bodies for these souls to have and not have them a hard way to go there. So a lot of fruits and berries and melons. Coconut, you're right, sweetheart. Excellent. Oh, you're asking me about a shake that is packed with proteins, vitamins, and nutrients that the body is lacking and, like you say, desperately needs. They are nutritious shakes and they replace 2 of your 3 meals. I have heard testimony after testimony of people who have gotten off their insulin, been able to stop taking cholesterol medications, help with MS, lupus, fibromyalgia. Holy crap. I believe those testimonials like I believe a rattlesnake would give you a kiss on the cheek before they bite you. These formulas, I don't know this company. I don't want to know this company, but I consider the wrong thinking. you don't try to figure out what nutrients we're missing. What foods are we missing? The nutrients will be there. This idea of protein is ridiculous because your body can't even use it. So already they don't know what they're talking about. And you're going to substitute a man-made chemical shake for a fresh bowl of fruits, berries, and melons and a big salad? I don't think so. You'd be better off to take our God's blend and just eat that. I designed that just for food. You could just have that for food and never want for any chemistry and power up with it. Just our God's blend superfood. Or just do green drinks. Use a lot of alfalfa sprouts, parsley, dandelion, spinach. Powered up in some green drinks would be more powerful than this. That's that Ensure crap. And no offense, but Ensure, you ought to be sued. You're sitting there pulling yourself like your milky, creamy powder of proteins and high fats and everything is like your fruits and vegetables. Are you kidding me? I mean, the con is out there. I've seen what Ensure, Pedisure, and all this does to people's lymph systems. Take someone that has pneumonia and give them Ensure or Pedisure, see what happens. Someone in a stroke. They sent this little man that had triple strokes, hospital sent a lot of Ensure, so the nurse started feeding him a lot of Ensure. He almost died from pneumonia from it. As soon as we got him cleaned out, put him on fruits and vegetables, now he was a feeding tube. No more mucus, no more congestion, no more problems. I mean, this isn't food. This isn't nutrition. You know, we've got to learn that, honey. No offense, but run. Luby, run from that. Fresh, fresh, fresh. Not slandering any company. But don't call yourself healthy. This is from a magical hummingbird. Ooh. Oh, man. Yeah, I appreciate your comments, honey. I appreciate all your comments. This is a good one. You asked me about AIDS and whether detoxing the body gets rid of the virus or just the symptoms. Man, I'm not about getting rid of symptoms. I'm about getting rid of the cause of the symptoms. And then, of course, you're not going to have symptoms. No, I'm about getting rid of the virus out of the body. Not difficult. That's what detoxification is about. A virus is a virus unless it becomes an antigen. And then when it attaches, then you got a war. But that's part of the war of life. The strong survive, the weaker consume, my friend. Detox your body, you'll be in good shape. I've never seen anybody not cure themselves of AIDS either. I have. No, I take that back. For a few years there, it seemed like I had a lot of AIDS patients. And very few could toe the line. Some are so toxic they gave up from trying. A lot of people quit detoxification with me because we're so aggressive, but I don't mess around, as you see. I'm a no-nonsense kind of guy. And let me call it a nonsense God guy. But don't mess around. If you're toxic, get yourself cleaned out. You'll be good. You've got to pull the power of healing and vitality into you, and don't settle for anything less. You're the controller of your own destiny. You're the one. No one else controls your destiny, do they? No, you're direct from God, man. You don't take your orders from anybody. You make it happen. I'm just helping you with a little bit of the knowledge. That's all. I'm just a way shower. Here, there's a hole right there. Let's walk to the side here. If you choose to fall in the hole, okay, pull yourself up, climb out, and keep on going. I fell a lot of holes myself. Pull myself out and just keep on going. Next time I walk around the hole. Oh, this is... Okay, yeah, this person's had a lot of antibiotics. Don't worry about the reinstatement of bacteria in the gut tissue because you can't keep bacteria out. And I think I've given the analogy that I was a home builder in my past. And I never did seed any septic tank and never had a problem with them because you can't keep bacteria out of the body, guys, and it's going to adapt to what you're eating. And so that's the beauty of it. Trust nature to work for you and adapt for you. The water full of love. I like all your comments, bro. Thanks. Keep them coming. My next class, see Kathy about the next class. You know, I'm trying to make this a big class for you if you haven't noticed. I'm trying to give you all that information as much as I can. So this is a big class in itself, guys. And I'm trying to get you guys to become the healers that you are and go out and let's change this world. So the life regenerator, thank you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This was a question on even organic raw dairy, kefir, any of that. Some countries are into the kefirs and stuff. They used to sell a lot of kefir, but you know, none of that is fit after age 2. You lose the enzymes, lactase, most people. Now, there are some Brits, they claim, that maintain the enzyme, but why? You know, we need to get our head out of the milk's butt. We got to get out of that idea of fermentation and milk and stuff like this and yogurts and stuff. We do that, and cultures do those things. I tell you what, get yourself cleaned out a little bit and then just go have you some kefir. I'm going to show you your response of your body to it. You don't have to trust what I say about it, but spend some time away from all that. Spend about 3 months away from all that, and then go get yourself some kefir or some yogurt. And then I won't have to tell you anything. You're going to experience that right off. But get away from organic milk, raw milk, all the forms of milk. Again, we're supposed to be weaned. We're Homo sapiens. We should be drinking only Homo sapien milk. Not, like I say, if anything, goats, if you're below 2. But try to stay away from that. And the reason I'm saying that is that the lymph system becomes very inundated with these type of proteins creating excessive mucus. And boy, when you see what we're up against, Tina can tell you what she's up against. And moving lymph. Moving lymph, let me tell you, you're up against the battle of all battles. And so when you understand what congests your lymph system, you want to run away from that stuff. So because you just have to clean it out again. I remember I was craving a malt one day, and I'd craving it. I had malts growing up, and nothing like a good chocolate malt or vanilla malt. I love that stuff, right? I hadn't had one in 20, 30 years, and I was craving it, and I craved it for a couple of weeks, and then I thought, ugh. So I went into the mall. We have a little mall down here, and there's an ice cream place, and I went in, I said, do you make little baby malts for kids? And they said, well, yeah. And I said, I just want a little baby malt this big. He kind of looked at me strange, and so he made me one. By the time I got out to my truck, I had a sore throat. I knew that I'd done it. I knew how mucus forming it'd be, but it was good going down. So I got home and I started eating some apples, and pretty soon I got a big wad of mucus out, spit it out, my sore throat went away. I created an acute problem by putting in my body proteins and food that my body had a direct immune response against, which is a mucus from my mucosa. And it actually made my throat sore because it congested my tissues, inflamed my tissues. Had I not known that, and I called up a medical doctor friend of mine, I said, hey man, I caught something while I walked in the mall, and I needed antibiotics, so I had to see my clients. I don't want them to see me sick, so, give me something. I caught something. I would then suppress the mucus that I put in there, because that antibiotic would have suppressed my lymph system, my immune system. The sore throat would have went away, had nothing to do with bacteria whatsoever, suppressed my lymph system, and I went on, but I had another milkshake another day and another one another day. I would move from creating an acute problem in my body to a subacute. That's a deeper stage of congestion. It changes your mucus. Whenever you have a cold and flu and you get yellow mucus out, that's subacute stage of mucus. Your chronic stages are going to be more your brown and green mucus. And then degenerative, you're going to see necrotic tissue and black and sometimes even gray tissue. So stay away from dairy products is all I can tell you. This question is good about the scabies and lice and stuff. We do a lot with our parasitic formulas. You can, if you're really involved, go out. And that's where maybe a pharmaceutical could help you quicker. and get this taken care of. There's a lot of good soaps and health food stores you can get and clean your tissues real good. Clean your body externally real good, and then start cleaning your body internally and clean your environment. Let's see here. All right, this lady asked me about her mom, who has no cartilage in the left knee and is walking bone to bone. She doesn't want a total knee replacement. Do you think her knee cartilage can regenerate in approximately how long? Depends her lymph system, and it depends upon her parathyroid, but you're probably looking at least a minimum of a year on raw. That's how it's slow, and that's how it takes to get the body to regenerate tissue. So I would be looking at least a year or up to 2 years to do that. So depends how old she is and about the knee replacement. If she's in real bad shape, you're probably not going to like me, but I would have her knee replaced and get her on a good diet so she doesn't lose the other one. And she doesn't lose her hips. Because if her knee's going, her hips are on the road, and so's the other knee. Generally it's one-sided a lot, but, the elderly, they start losing the other kidney too. So it all depends on her level of comfort. I'd really detoxify her before and after the surgery, though, and get that anesthesia out of there. But fix the kidney. Why is she losing her knees, her kidneys, and her lymph system? And you want to fix that causative problem. If she'll stand in and you'll wait for, a year or two to rebuild, then go ahead and do it that way. Then I would do a lot of green drinks, but I would do a lot of fruit and berries and melons too, and really get into the kidneys. Make sure her parathyroid is working. Does she have spider veins, varicose veins? Does she bruise easy? Well, then she's pulling calcium out of her body fighting acids, and she's not putting it back. So that would be problematic. And if you're going to regenerate her, it's more than fresh fruits and vegetables. You really want to get into her lymph system more aggressively, get into her adrenals, and definitely pop up her parathyroid gland. That would be very, very important to do that for her. They're talking outside my door. Don't be surprised they open it in a minute and I gotta go. Let's see, ulcerative colitis. This person was 29. Are we ready? 9 years ago I had ulcerative colitis. Yeah, so remember that's inside the wall. That's truly interstitial lymphatic constipation, man. So you really got to get in there. And you're only 29. See what we're up against, guys? Again, going to the kidneys, going to your adrenal glands. Really, that's a core 29, my friend. That's really, you got to get into those tissues there. Move your lymph system. Work on some bowel formulas of ours, drawing formulas that pull and clean that bowel wall off. Get into that lymph system. Very, very important. And because you're probably burning from the inside out. And that's not good. When you that's interstitial lymphatic constipation, but that's all pre-cancer stuff. That you want to get that out of there, my friend. You're only 29 years old. You're in Toronto, Ontario. So, yeah, I know you're the one. I was talking about that at the expense of getting them in Toronto. Try to go across the border or something. Maybe fix someone up across the border or something. Carry them across. I don't know. Just research the herbs in my, I don't have enough time here to get them. Just research all the herbs that I have in my lymphatic formulas and my kidney formulas. See what herb health food stores you got up there, what you can come up with, and see how you go with that. Get on the raw for sure. A lot of fruits, berries, and melons. Stay away from the acid fruits and stuff maybe a little while. Blood sugar better. Again, there's your adrenals. There's your, right back to your adrenals again, your kidneys. These are the causative factors of your problem here. Even though the symptom is in the colon, the true reality is you're born with weak kidneys and adrenals. Getting the adrenals up will control the blood sugar, and then fruits and vegetables, best way. Licorice, excellent, excellent, definitely for the adrenals are there. That should help with a little blood sugar, and you already know your adrenals. You made comment on that. No energy. Yeah, moods are depressed and stuff. That's your adrenals, but check your parathyroid out here. Again, that's your calcium utilization gland. That's depression here. Yeah, that's what I mean about you young guys. I mean, males and females. You guys got to work through some stuffs. Our age group didn't know any better. Blood sugar swings and stuff like that. Keep working it, bro. Keep working it. Flax oil at night, okay. Cucumber, okay. Well, if your body's stopping, wanting you to get away from sugary fruits, well, get away from them. Listen to your body. I'm definitely an advocate of listening to your body here, of what it has to say to you, because that's really, really important. And I still missed a lot of questions here, so I'm going to shoot another video tomorrow on this, because I do have a client coming in, and I apologize, but I'll get to the rest of these tomorrow. But take care of yourselves. You're doing good. I love it. You guys are doing so good. I'm just super proud of every one of you. And thank you so much for your support. It really feeds us around here, and it makes us feel good that what we're doing is paying off. So have fun today. Bye-bye now.